Hi, Grandma. Heard you had some questions about obesity and genes, and so we can just jump right in. So you wanted to know if genes cause obesity, and the research is still kind of out on that. So technically, genes don't cause obesity per se, but there was one study that found that about 75% of a person's BMI is a product of both dominant and additive genes. So I guess in that regard, it is a little bit dependent, but it's not completely, I guess, based off of genetic makeup. Also, the amount of fat stored is likely also to be determined by genotype, but again, the research still isn't very conclusive. So is there an obesity gene? So technically, the FTO gene is also known as the fat mass and obesity associated FTO gene. It increases obesity risk by about 67%. And this FTO gene is known to be the strongest common genetic predictor of obesity so far. So kind of stay tuned and see what new discoveries are made as far as obesity research is concerned. What are some names of genes related to obesity? So there's about 10 genes, and a few common ones would be leptin, melanin concentrating hormone receptor 3, and cortical releasing hormone that has a longer name actually. But if we're looking at these three genes and we're looking at how they relate to obesity, and then we see daily habits that we are ourselves taking part in every single day, and how it might affect our weight. So we see the melanin, for example, a melanin hormone. So that would be related to sleep. So if we don't sleep sufficient, then our body has that hormone imbalance, and that could also contribute to weight gain. Another one is the cortical releasing hormone. So in the event that there's stress, high stress situations may encourage this the body to maybe hold on to stores. So these are two different ways that these hormones can affect our waistline. So what is Cushing's syndrome? And it's actually a benign tumor in the pituitary gland that's characterized by upper body fat, obesity, a rounded face, and a lot of fat around the neck. So some neuroendocrinology for you, Grandma. How does the body manage its weight? So technically there's two systems. One is relates more to the short-term management, and then another one refers more to the long-term weight management. And so examples of signals that regulate short-term eating would be things like glucose, insulin, ghrelin, and serotonin. How do we limit fat in a cell? So actually, to limit fat in a cell, we really just shouldn't add that much fat to begin with, because once a cell expands, you start changing the genetic makeup or the genetic structure of the cell, and it just, maybe not the genetic structure, but just the structure of the cell begins to change, and so it influences obesity. How many enzymes are involved in breaking down fat? So technically there's 3, but there's a lot of other enzymes and hormones involved. And one fun tip for you is, if you wanted to break down fat, you would be encouraged to drink black tea, because this has HSL, which is a hormone-sensitive lipase, and it encourages the body to break down fat stores. So I hope you learned something, Grandma, and I guess I'll call you again next week and see what other questions you have.